Hey, what's up guys, DK here. Join me today as we take a trip through the OG of Asian malls in the GTA. This is Dragon Center in Scarborough. This mall, built in 1984, may not look like much right now, but during its heyday, in the 80s and the early 90s, this mall was a hotspot for a lot of families, mostly Asian, coming in for some Asian culture, from food to goods, everything. It was so busy, it actually created traffic jams in the Asian court area.
Pretty much I grew up in this mall. I went here many times. I've been here for some cheap eats. I've been here for some weddings and stuff like that. This was like all the stores were open. There was stores where you can get your music, you can get your video games. I mean, it's a Chinese mall, but there's a lot of Asians that come here. Usually it was a lot of like students. There's schools near here and a lot of residents that live around the area.
Unfortunately, the mall kind of became a victim of its own success, because in the mid to late 90s, buoyed by the success of malls like these, mega Asian malls like the gigantic Pacific Mall in Markham started appearing, and this mall, because it didn't quite upgrade itself with the times, started to fall behind. This place behind me was one of the busiest dim sum restaurants in Scarborough. Weddings, banquets, anniversaries, birthdays. And now it sits quiet. The only two main dining options in this mall. One in a slightly shabby looking food court to my right, and one which occupies its own unit to my left. So the mall has one main food court, which is right behind me. In the old days, this food court was small enough as is. It's got 3 spots inside, but now that's down to 1. And people in the know that when you go to that last remaining food court spot, what you get is number 44. That's right, fried rice with crispy fried chicken.
I mean, as I walk through the hallways of the mall right now, everything's pretty much closed. There's only like a few shops that are still open. It's kind of sad and it looks abandoned, but I do understand there are a lot of bigger malls that have opened up in the area and they're getting a lot more traffic than this place. And this place needed an update, and I guess they just haven't kept up with the times.
Plans to redevelop the mall have actually been in motion since about 2012, but through many delays and negotiations, and now especially during the pandemic, its future is relatively uncertain.